What's going on, my YouTubers? This is WarGames, aka the Bears. Today I am going to give you a video on how I plan to maximize my skill card rating. Today I am at 284 skill card rating, and if you look at your profile, I'll show you how to look up your rating. You'll look at your current rating here, but then skill cards down below, you'll look at where you're at. If you would like to see how to max out, how to beat those reward players, those medalists, super medalists, this is the category I mistakenly avoided early on game and learned my life lessons that I need to focus here. So I'm going to jump over here where I'm currently at, level 17. I've got only a handful of categories to go. The average blue category is 380. 190 for red and 95 for purple, and it incrementally goes up at percentages on each level to 18 to 19 to 20. I'm going to show you how I miscalculated this initially. I have a very nice Excel report that'll show you how to get this to max. I'm also going to share with you insights and tips on how to the lowest cost way to get these skill cards so that you can advance and compete at a high level by strategy. So let's take a quick look at that report. Bear with me. All right, seemed like I was gone forever. I kid. All right, so here I created this Excel report with skills and events, skills, tournaments, cores. I have a lot of tabs here that I can show you for different points of time, but particularly I have skills and events. First on the left here, I'm going to show you where my current gap is at level 17. I have 52 blue, 22 red, and 105 purple. Corresponding with that is if you were getting case offers, they would tell you what the corresponding cost would be to cover these gaps and what would be the quickest way to do that. I have a free way to do that, and then I've been deploying that strategy for some time. Level 18 blue, red, and purple corresponding here. Purple being the hardest one to get. Here are my current gaps for that category: 34, 258, 209. This is what I'm missing, is 773 prints. Red average 250 and purple average 229, and or the cost to purchase those cases. I'll explain the cost in a second. Let's just jump ahead here. Level 19, how many is currently in my gap, and then level 20 and is an assumption. Now there was a calculation here, which is why I'm going to skim through this and show you a deeper dive in this calculation tab down below on the left, and where it gets in greater granular detail. And again, number one focus is on how am I going to do this as cheaply as possible to maximize skill card and compete with those medalists. So with that being said here, I'm scrolling down here at level 20. I got a total of 3,800, 3,200, and 1,280 purple being the hardest one to get your paws on. I need a total of 64, 54, 55, 94, and 2254 in skill cards, incrementally changing on 1.3%, 1.5%, and incrementally up as you leveled up. Obviously 1 through 10 skill cards, very easy to achieve. Opening cases, opening the free containers, the purple, the yellow, the red, the free container box, they run every 3 hours. That is an easy way, free way to advance these numbers. Long play the game and do that. Don't be afraid to click those, click the ad, let it play. Get your free skill cards there. Reroll if you have to, if you have the rerolls, just to make sure you get those. Be smart on how you reroll. So here we are. I have some numbers in here on how I would take to max it. What I'll point out here is special bundle offers. I've always been a proponent, if you watch my training videos, only buy the plus 500s if you're going to buy anything whatsoever. So zooming in here, there's a special 200 offer, and if you get it at a 50% off discount, that's $100, and you get 500 red and 260 purples. You're gonna have to buy this. And if you're a player that's been maxed at 340 skill cards, I bet you they've bought this plan probably 10 times to 20 times at a minimum, depending on when they maxed out their skill card account. Then you got your skill card bundle, another 100 one, which includes 400 blue, 225 red, and 113. But as you'll see later, I would advise against this. Why? Because blues are very common skill cards to get your hands on. So if you're doing events, which I'm going to show you right down here below, how you can get blue skill cards for free if you're grinding the game events, opening the cases and doing things like that. Your daily cases and your war points will give you the blue skill cards, but they all lack purple. And so that's where the game gets you, and they're really enforcing you to buy purple cases if you want to be a super player or a super strong player. And I'll explain more here. Okay, so if I'm just looking at those skill cards, I have an itemization of what it'll cost to do that. Now, if I go down to like the Gears event, the Syndicate event, the Halloween event, the Christmas event, Thanksgiving event, whatever the event of the season is, it all gears towards, gears pun intended, for a basic grid here. And I've gridded out the exact analytics of it, and they don't deviate much from this. So if you're to collect the first token tomorrow for the summer event, the gears are 35, 80, 160, 330, 670, 1350, and 2440. The tree event is 2800. Numbers are slightly different, fractionally, less than 5% deviation. In that event, if you do those different categories and grind them, you will get 1.6 million in gold, 16,000 in gold if you get to the 2400 category. And I'll do another video on how to get 2400, but I will get 2400 every event if I have the time to play. Tokens, I'll get 10,000 tokens per event. So if there's 6 events a year, I will at a minimum have 60,000 tokens saved up, and I will spin those on super token containers. Prints, 60 blue, 300 blue, 20 purple, 300 red, 1500 blue, 550 red. Now the game is favoring you opening the Beholder or the, not the Wasp or the other one on the resistance side of the account, you know, the latest hero print that they're trying to get you. So you'll get 1900 blue, but it's usually split 50-50. Maybe you'll slightly favor towards the latest hero. Prints, 850 red prints, Poseidon and Seraphim, and 20 purple. 20 purple. After all that event work, you're only getting 20 purple prints. That sounds like a catastrophe here. Skills, this is what I mostly care about. 50 blue, 30 red, 100 blue, 25 purple, 330 blue, 210 red, 480, 240, 25. Okay, so if you only played events, I then calculated out, okay, if I camp in between events and the game's trying to promote doing an event every other month, 10 events, I'm gonna have 4,800 skills, 1,900 blueprints, 2,400 red skills, red prints 8,500, 250 purple skills, 200 purple prints, 161,000 gold, and 100,000 tokens. Roughly speaking, you know, between level to level, I'll show you what that equates to. Blue skill, you're also going to do things like tournaments, AI, blitz, and if you're managing your account right, depending on where you're playing in the game, I tend to do better with tournaments, getting the best rewards. And if you're going to pay for anything, you pay for the VIP at that moment, with or without the extra permits, and with or without the where they pay it forward 5 forward. So in tournaments, these are the additional row of the offers you're going to get. So with that being said, how do I get to max skill cards, and when will I get there? Well, if you carry it over here, if I'm getting, you know, at the next event 52, 22, 105, and I plan on maxing out, I have the potential at this next event, the summer heat event, to max out my level 17. I plan to get 480 blue, 240 red, and 25 purple. Well, that has to perfectly line up, which we know is not going to happen. So I'm probably going to need to do something about that purple. And coincidentally, yesterday, the game before the event started offered me this super container for both skills and hero prints, special 200 pack for $100, which are normally $200, where they're trying to incite and you know, offer you an incentive to buy it now. If you wait to buy it during events, you get gears or cryo crystals that go with it, or whatever the seasonal thing is that'll give you the perk. So you'll get an extra 500 and 260s. That would be enough to max my 17, unlock that category, get a couple extra 100 in every category there, and then make an advancement in my level 18, which I've already done. Plus, it'll give you another 260 to advance into these categories here, and I only need 229. So if I bought one of those bundles, I could potentially max out my purple. We know blue is gonna get a chunk here at 480. I need 773, so I'll be short on completing blue. Not a perfect alignment, but close. Same thing here, and I'm gonna show you an exact science of this in the next tab, but you gotta pay attention here. Stay with me. Level 19, these categories here, I need a ton. So how are all these super players doing it? Well, they're whales. What is a whale? Do you play any of the other big games out there or have in the past, like Rise of Kingdoms? Whales exist everywhere. These folks are throwing in 20 grand into the game or more in those games. And if they're doing it early in game, they're throwing a lot at it, and they're not caring about plus 500. Me, I'm doing these plus 500s above here because it's the best return on your investment. You get millions, 2.8 million in that offer. The cost is 100 grand. That 2.8 million, and just if you were to buy it in your daily special shop, that's gonna be about $75 in value. And then let alone these two cases here, that's $100 in value right there for those, if not more, if you're buying them separately in solo. So your whales don't care, they're doing it. So I'm trying to give you the best strategy to reduce the cost of the game or slow play the game. If you're starting fresh or you're advanced in there, how do I still save my account to be competitively advantaged in here? So the analytics don't lie. Then you go into down here, okay, if I had to spend, what's the minimum way to spend? I'm maximizing my events. I got a couple more events to go. This is what it would cost to advance at another special 200, another 450 in other categories. And you would buy a combination of the skill card bundle with the blues and the special to unlock it. In this summation here, it would take me about 2 grand right now in buying those bundles, both the blue, red, and purple, but a heavy emphasis on the skill card special 200 to get there. Two grand to do it right now when I'm almost done with 17, partially done on 18. And I only have those 3 categories to go. Imagine if you were level 1, how much those whales paid just to whale up. Because they're not grinding. I guarantee you they're not grinding. They're camping in between, or they're doing games here and there. Their videos, their YouTube videos, and they're throwing, honestly, they're throwing 10 grand at it. So when I face those guys, to be brutally honest, at this point, knowing this and these analytics, I don't care. It's just like, hey, hope you enjoyed it. You know, as soon as I know when you're crazy good, wait until I catch you at level 25, which is what I figured out here, is at about 25, I can probably catch these guys. Going back over here, so I'm planning for a 10 events, camping in between 10 events. That should take me about 2 years if they do an event every other month, roughly speaking, maybe shorter. Maybe a game here or there in between, and taking advantage of daily premium rewards and contracts. That, and plus tournaments, AI rewards. It'll show me how I'm planning to get to max skill cards. Gear event 1, I'm going to be at 15,000 current level, level 23. At level 23, level 17, level 18, level 19 here, and how many events that corresponds to, how many skill cards I have, and then how much it'll cost me inevitably to totally max out perfectly here. In this scenario, it's 1,200. At gears, how do I get that? With gears, how am I planning to get my gears? I might cut in this to greater detail later, but in summation, you need 2,400 gears a battle per event. The holiday event is 2,800. Christmas trees, 1v1 gives you 12. That would be 1,000 stars. Why does this matter? Well, if you don't want to aggressively maximize your level, you want to do the lowest amount of stars to get your gears. If you advance your level too fast, you're going to have to be paying to level up your account to maximize your core units. Core units, your Zeus's, your Typhoons, your Vertex, your Assault. You don't want to be chasing yourself and trying to update those. So it's a good study to look at, okay, at 1v1 I get 12, at 2v2 I get 16, and that's guaranteed. Remember, the game took away If people quit in the first 10 minutes, which is common, they're not getting their gears. So all that work is wasted. But if you do tournament, you're getting 20. If you do VIP in tournament, you're getting 40, which I break out here, and that's what equates to my 800 gears. If you do AI, you get 7, but you're getting 140 and 280 essentially if you buy VIP, and that's a $5 purchase. So per event, if you spend that $5 and the VIP tournament, you spend the $5, you're quickly advancing to get gears, 1,000 gears right here, and then you have to sprinkle in a mix between 2 versus 2, 3, 3, and 1, 1. I would recommend highly using the 2, 2, 3, 3 or blitz and getting the shortest number. The lowest you could do here for stars to get to 2,400 is 650 stars. And so if I am currently at, perfect example right here, perfect example here, the game, I'm at 1,500,000 stars, current level 23. One event, I'm gonna be still at level 23, so I don't have to upgrade and pay for all my upgrades yet. But if I do 2 events, I'm getting darn close to leveling up at 17,000 stars, level 24. If I do 10 events at 15,000, I'll be at 25, level 25. Level 26 doesn't hit until 30,000, so I'll be at 25. So my strategy is to reduce my amount of stars. And again, guys, I analyzed this shit out of this. So you got to understand the numbers are here. Ask me questions in the comments. I can quickly speed you through this. I'm an analytical guy. I understand it. I'm learning how to micromanage the game and reduce my expenditures for it. So here I'm going to have 2 events. I can maybe squeak out the 3rd event, which would be summer, Halloween, Christmas event, holiday event for some of you. And then I'll be maximizing the upgrade. Well, when I go from 23 to 24, I estimate I need a minimum of $10 million in resources or 20 million in resources to max my units. Minimum 10, 20 million probable. So I'm saving right now for that experience, essentially. So if I could do it in 3 gear events, I know per gear event or summer event or holiday event, I'm gonna get about 1.6 million in gold, plus my prints, plus my skills, plus my gears and my tokens of 10,000. So, and then of course, you know, the holiday event is the big token event where they give you 25% off all tokens. And you're gonna typically make $1 million or so off of something like that. If you're watch my videos on my token rolls with 40 and 50,000, you'll see how I optimize that. Further, so what I showed you here so far is how I'm going to maximize some of my skills. Some notes I have here below. Don't forget you'll have your supply cases that you'll get, your daily contracts if you're choosing to daily contract and do your focused up collecting your daily rewards. When I do grind per day, I usually gather about 100K in daily resources, but that's obviously based on my current level and my skill card level. If you're level 8 in the game, you're going to be in a completely different ballpark, but focus on your daily contracts, or at least a core focus. Get to day, case 3, case 4 if you can do it. But don't be grinding aimlessly on a day-by-day basis. That's going to level you up in a undirected way, and it's going to just ruin your account. Supply cases and war points. Focus on those war points. War points are going to give you a greater return on tournaments. 2 versus 2, 3, 3 AI next, which they just recently bumped to 140 war points. And 1v1, they've really discouraged. And then your free daily cases. I am averaging probably about 10 blue skill and hero a day with opening up those 4 bundles a day for free. So now I'm going to get into real granular details here. So home stretch, as I was saying. So what I noticed is in the pitfall when I was trying to calculate that 17, 18, and 19, 20 is that what do when you calculate those numbers? I literally lined up every one of these building attack, unit durability, and what I needed for each one. Well, the game gravitated towards a heavy dominance of needing a specific one in each category. So like these categories are done. This is what I have or what I need in those categories. So every category is 380, it goes to 500, and it jumps up by a certain percentage on each bucket. Well, in each of those, what am I missing? 50, 20, 90. But I need a specific 50, 20, 90 in that category. Next one, 500, 250, 150. Well, the reds here are duplicates from above. And what I did in the prior tab is I didn't take in consideration those duplicates from the prior class. And as you get through 19 and as you get through 20, they're all mass duplicates. So as I go through and did that analysis here, I really needed 10,000 blueprints, essentially 6,000 red prints and 2,500 skill cards. And remember, I brought in the categories from the prior screen. In the tournaments, 10 tournaments, what am I going to get? Only 5,000 blue, 2,500 red, and 250 skill. Geez, what if I did 20 tournaments? That's going to take 20,000 stars, and then I will only have 500 prints. So you could see the correlation between the game and the purple. They're forcing you to buy these. You could do the blues, but at some point the purples are going to block you from advancing, and you'll have to do either your re-rolls, your getting lucky and tokens and things like that to be able to get the purples. But this is where obviously your super players have that advantage because they've bought their way through this category, and I'm trying to do everything I can not to do that and maximize my account. And my resistant accounts, I'm doing that. I'm maximizing that free to play and doing everything I can for events and not giving them a penny for the game. Don't let the game know that. They probably hate that part. And then you got your blue tournaments. You'll get another 110 through 10 events. AI, you get nothing. You don't get any of this with AI. You really get nothing for prints and skill cards unless you're opening those cases. But if you look across the bar in AI, it offers you no value. So you're falling behind every time you do an AI or a 1v1. The only thing that's going to give you any help is the war points. So again, down here, how do you advance? I could do a combination of, I know I need purple. I'm going to need 8 of these purple 100 cases. That'll cost me $800. And I'm going to need these 8 of the 400 blue cases after I do 10 events, after I do those events, after the skills I'm short right here, 3,400, 2,800, 2,180. I'm still going to need to spend $1,900 and $800 in this scenario. Optimizing it, I could probably cut them both in half because if I bought 8 of these skill card bundles, I'm going to get about 800 purple. And then I'd have a gap of about 1,200, but then still, so what's 1,200 there? So you're going to need at least 6 of these 600. So 800 of this plus 600 of this, you're going to be at 1,400 to maximize your skill cards. Geez, like how much did these whales pay? Because I can guarantee you they didn't put in this work to grind the events like I have. And they probably didn't buy the plus 500 cases that I'm advising you to if you're going to buy anything at all. With that, folks, holy cow, take a look at this report that I went through, study it, take advantage of this data, ask me questions, ask me to review a certain category, ask me to start from the beginning. You're just a beginner. Ask me those questions. In summation, do the events. The events are the only time you get these extra bonuses. You need to grind these events. You have to have purpose with what you're grinding in them. That's the best way to take advantage of these and advance your account so you don't fall behind below the 50 percentile of the win rate and stay ahead of the curve. Thank you. Like, subscribe if you haven't already. Promote this to your friends and your clan. I appreciate it. Thank you again. Bye.